Good morning, Chris here, Griffiths eating. Another day, another Viessmann. This time we're doing a Viessmann 111. If you don't know what a 111 is, it's basically a wall-mounted combi with a big 47-litre unvented storage tank on it. I'll pop the front off in a minute and show you what's inside it. So, bit of an awkward one this. Original Worcester CDI was there. Customer requested that the boiler was shifted that way, but that's an awkward stone wall that's not square, straight or level. So we had to get creative in how to mount the boiler to the wall. So what we did, we put a big drill bit through there, all the way through that stone wall, went round, pulled the floor up, went round on the other side, and bolted a big bar across there to stop that tipping forward. And we anchored the rest of the frame into the rock with some fast fix resin. That is absolutely rock solid. That is not going anywhere. Then the problem with fixing the pipes, so we had the idea of bolting the uni-strut across the back there and clip them onto it. It turned out pretty well, I do say so myself. So that's the stage we're at. We got our return coming down here. Bit of fancy bending going on. Treated the system to some fancy bends. Return coming down there, flow going up there, gas comes back across this way to tee into there, and that's about it. So I'll pop the front off and we'll have a quick look inside the 111 and just see what it's made of. So inside the boiler, you've got your big unvented cylinder here. You've got your heat engine here. If you pop that off there, have a look in there. You've got your bog standard Viessmann stainless steel heat exchanger, your fan, your gas valve, and all that good stuff. And inside here, you've got a plate heat exchanger because this cylinder is plate loaded. So as you draw off, the boiler fires up and recharges it. So you've always got buckets of hot water and it's always getting recharged. What else is there in there to note? Nothing really. Control panel, standard square display. It's not a touch screen like the 200. It's very similar in the way the screen clips onto a 200. It'd be great if they did that in the 200 version. It's basically a 222 that hangs on the wall. So yeah, it's a cracking boiler, and I'm just in the process of piping up now. We're replacing all the rads in the property, all sized to 55-degree flow temperature. It's been a bit awkward, the job, because the walls haven't been good. We hung the radiators once, and then the customer decided they needed to be moved into different positions. And we initially did this frame slightly different. The customer didn't like it, so we had to redo it. But we've got over that now. It's knocked the job off, knocked the job over a few days. But you've got to do what the customer wants and keep them happy. So we're going to start soldering these up now. Just find my wire wool. You lose everything when you're on jobs like this. But give everything a good polish. This is old copper, but it's still in fairly good condition. Got my sets down here that we made to fit there. Let's give these a good polish, all fresh new copper. Usually I do a lot of press fit, but our press gun is currently out of action. The jaws on it have all bent out of shape because someone put a press cycle on it without the jaw fully locked in and bent the mechanism that holds the jaw. So that needs to go back to Rothenberger to be fixed. God knows how much that's going to cost. But there we go. So Everflux is my flux of choice. Give it a good flux in. Some connectors hanging around somewhere. They've all been polished up already. I've lost one of them. Got a whole case full of them over there, so we'll get another one, stick that over there. And the last bit that needs fluxing is going to be this wire wooling. Give this a good polish. If I was doing it in press, this would have all been done by now. We've been on to the next thing, but it is 10 times dearer. So what do? You pay your money, you take your chance. Fluxity doodah. Fluxity doodah on there. Flux on there. That looks like it's going to be the bottom one. If my measurements are correct, they should all fit perfect. Top one. Elbow on that side. That goes in there. That doesn't want to go in. There we go. There we go. That looks pretty straight and even to me. Find the blowtorch. Leaded solder because we want to heat it. And burn it up. I mean, I'm not one of these people that likes to do super neat soldering, so you lay it in there. If it looks like a seagull shit lead all over it, well, at least we know it's not going to leak. And we don't brass our pipes either. 1, 2. 3, 4. We'll get those fluxed off. Pull down. And the good thing about using press is that you don't have to deal with flux. As I said in the last video, getting flux in the system is not the best idea. Bit of rag. Give it a shine. Now the 2 elbows here. Try not to incinerate anything or wake up any spiders with the heat that are living above the joist to drop on your head. That happens a few times. Now 1, 2. Like I say, we don't care about runs. First get the system right rather than obsess over how neat the soldering is. A backwards way to think about things. Like people that get perfectly brassoed installs. They're not the dog's bollocks, but then you look at how they've laid the system out and how they're controlling it, and you think, mate, if you'd have spent your brasso money on doing the job properly, the customer would have had a much better job out of you. There we go, them 2 done. Flux it off. Try not to get flux onto the clips, because the metal clips, they will rot. The flux will just get onto them and kill the zinc coating on them. So try and protect the unistrut and the clips from flux. Otherwise they'll turn scabby in an instant. So that's them 2 soldered. Give them a wipe down. And then hit them with a bit of wire wool. As you see, it's pretty time consuming, and that's why people go for press, because it is so much quicker. So that's that little bit done. The flow and returns connected. Don't really think we need an auto air vent up there. It's a fully pressurized system, and I don't think that's going to be an issue. All there's done already, so now I've just got to jump on the gas, shoot that across there and into there, and up into there, and we'll speak about the connections underneath the boiler in a sec. So I'm going to crack on with the gas now. So we're going to have a clip here and a clip here. Then we're going to tee into that, or not tee in. I'm going to probably slice that there and set down there into that gas pipe. Not sure where the meter is. One of the other engineers came, stripped it all out, gas tested it. So what we'll probably do, we'll just get the pipe to here, and then I'll finish the rest of the boiler. Then the last thing, we'll jump on the gas and get that across. So screws, I did buy about 50 quid's worth of the day, but delivery got pillaged and I missed out on it. I didn't get a chance to fill the screw box up. So we'll get our first clip in. We'll measure off here. Our clip's at 66. I'm not part of the Illuminati. 66, which is there. Goes onto our mark there. .46 inches. Days gone by, you might have been tempted to eyeball it, but with the price of copper, you've got to measure everything. A bit of wire wool, give that a, find the good end, the cut end. And clip that in there. That should be relatively square. Yeah, that looks good to me. That's about right. So then we just need to clean this up, flux it and sweat it. With excess flux on there, could be wiping off. Stop it going into the clip and making it rusty. Again, if you're an apprentice or new into the trade, don't bother your arse about doing super neat soldering, because I can guarantee you'll get more leaks than you need to. I'm not saying make a mess, but don't go for the invisible soldering look. It's a bourgeois construct. Like I say, keep the flux off the clips because it just eats the zinc coating on the galvanized rubber lines. And give it a minute to cool down, because it's lead solder. It takes a bit longer to harden. I don't know if that's the dumb way to do it, but I've been doing it for the past 25 years, so as long as you wipe the flux off, it's not going to do any harm, is it? It just makes it shiny. There's our gas feed put in. We're not going to have to move that, so we can lock the wrap overs so we don't forget to do it or catch our head on them. And that's that bit done. So the next phase is then going to be kick up into the gas tap underneath the boiler. Boilers, although it's a big boiler, it's only a small output. It's about 24 kilowatt, so it doesn't need 22 all the way. So 22 from the meter, then last bit in 15. So we're going to do the gas now. Try not to knock the camera over. So we're going to we'll have to do a connector in here, elbow, 2215 reducer across there, then a machine bend here and up into the twat. I've lost my 15mm guide, so we're going to have to do it in elbows. Never mind. Because it's a gas pipe, we're going to put a clip here because we can't just have it free floating. Regs and that. That looked relatively level compared to the rest, which I put a level on. So we're going to have to, I don't want to put a connector in an elbow because it'll look a bit like a mistake. So if we cut the pipe slightly higher, it'll just look a bit more like it was intentional. And because we've lost our 15mm guide, we can put a bit of a kick on the 22 rather than the 15. That goes on there. You'll just want a short stub of 22. You have to put a kick on the bottom. So we just want a little slither of a kick. So right as close to the end as we can get it. Nothing major, just a bit of an oink. One for luck, and that should be enough just to get us onto there. And then we need 22mm elbow and a 2215 reducer, which I probably won't have because we've been that busy lately. I haven't had a chance to stock up. We're always low on stock because that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? It's the nature of the beast. Always low on everything. Low on energy, low on money, low on stock, low on intellect. Get the old Mitsubishi pencil. Give that a mark. Get that into there. I think is that level. That is pretty, to be fair, that's bang on. That is bang on. We got that right first time. Was it luck or was it skill? It was probably skill, but because I'm not big-headed, we'll call it black. Top tip when putting pipes in that fall out, just give them a bit of an oink with your grips and they should stay in. Not enough to bend them, but just slightly misshape them. And now I need to go to the van and see if I can dig out a 22 to 15 reducer. So by the skin of our bollocks we managed to find 22 to 15. You know that shit, bag of shit that you have in the back of your van, where you empty your pockets out into your underpant drawer, and then in about a month it looks like the stock room in Plum Centre. Scoop it out, chuck it in a bag, throw it in the back of the van. And yeah, luckily we had one of those floating around in there, otherwise it would have been a trip to the merchants for one fitting, which isn't good business. Give it a bit of a polish, it's a bit 1980s. Fluxy-doo-dah. Hopefully that should end up square. That looks alright to me. So we'll get a little blowtorch on here. Give it a bit of a tickle with a flame. Bob Ross style. Get that heating up there. Give it a bit of a wiggle. And then put a little bit of tiny dot of solder. Just like that. Isn't she pretty? And then another one there. Beautiful. And this one here just brings it to life. So one of the favourite tools that I've bought recently is the laser beam, the laser level. Just so easy, because this is a bit of an awkward situation. Trying to crouch down under that boiler with a level and level the pipes off. You're trying to eyeball it from an angle, and it's just they always end up slightly crooked. So just shoot the laser beam at them, and you can't really go wrong. So if you haven't got one, get one. So we've got the gas pipe connected up now. I'm going to have to crawl underneath there and solder it. Shot the laser at it. It's level enough. Get that out of the way. Clean the crap out of the way. And then find that. Hopefully the boiler doesn't fall on my head and kill me. Give this a blast. That's soldered. That's soldered. Easy as that. Let it cool a bit. We don't want to disturb the joint on the gas. And clean the joint up, quench it, clean it, polish it, Instagram it. That's the gas connected. So now we've got to do the cold and the hot. So because this is basically an inventor's cylinder, we have to put one of these combination valves on it to regulate the pressure going into the boiler. Obviously it's got discharge on it, D1, and there's another one attached onto wherever that's gone. There's another valve somewhere that I've put somewhere safe. Now I can't find it. Where's that gone? There's one half of the filler loop that goes with it. Oh, there it is. So this then goes underneath the boiler. Which way is it going to be? That way round. There's another discharge there, which I don't think is necessary because we've already got a discharge. Which one's that? That is 10 bar. And the blow off on this one is 8 bar. It's not a temperature relief, it's just a pressure relief. So I'm not sure why you need 2 blow offs on it. After looking at the instructions, it might just be a hangover from the only parts they could get. If you fitted a 111 before, what is the deal there? Do we need 2 blow offs or is one enough? There's your condense line, and the blow off from the heating goes through the condense line. You can see there. So there isn't, when you see a Viessmann fitted, you won't see a blow off on the boiler because the blow off goes into the condense system. So now we turn our attentions to the hot and colds on the boiler, which you're going to fly down on this piece of uni-strut here. If we look under the boiler, it's all marked for us, I think. You can see hot's got a red spot, cold's got a blue spot. So we now know that the hot pipe's the one closest to the edge. So that one there is going to carry the hot. If you've never used uni-strut before, it's a great system. I recommend everyone keeps a few lengths of uni-strut and fittings in their lockups. You basically get your strut channel, spring nut, stick it in there, twist it, plate washer, and a clip on there. Screw it in somehow, line them up, and then you've got a super rigid pipe support system, which is like, it's just great. You can't beat a bit of uni-strut. It's just so versatile. Get into it. It's proper professional. So on to the next day. A few hours in the morning, we've got the boiler all but piped. Flues in, needs sealing, and we need a clip going somewhere. I would clip it off the wall to there, but I'm not sure the customer will like that. It's the type of job where you've got to second guess everything you do, because you do it one way, you'll get told to do it another way, which gets the same result, but it's just different. So got to be mindful of that sometimes. Viessmann flues, that's not a screw hole. You don't screw Viessmann flues. So if you see a Viessmann flue on a service with no screws, you think that's a screw hole. No, it's not a screw hole. It's a window to see if the flue is in full socket. So don't screw it. Top tip. Expansion vessel, that goes in there with a strap, and it tees in there. And we're just jumping on the radiators now. We've tidied up this pipe work here the best we can. Hot and colds. Cold feed into the boiler straight off the main, 15mm main, and we've tested the flow on that main, and it's pretty good. Good pressure, good flow, enough to run this anyway. And the hot tees into there, and we've tidied that up with a few spacers and done the gas. We just chopped it, put that piece in there, extended it, and basically kept most of the old pipe work. So you got to find ways to reuse old pipe work just to save a bit of money. No point putting in new if it isn't required. So we're going to jump upstairs now, have a look at the radiators. Now the boiler's pipe, we jump onto the radiator. Scott, our other engineer, he's already been through and hung most of the rads and got the pipes in. He had a right nightmare with that one. The walls were in such bad condition that he couldn't get it to work. But he got there in the end. This radiator here initially was agreed to be hung here, so that was hung and piped. And then the customer decided they didn't want it there, they wanted it here. So we had to take all that off and rehang and pipe that one there. That radiator was bowed like a banana, so that one had to get repackaged up and sent back. This radiator here, we had to drill through the skirtings at an angle to get through, because it's a solid floor under our feet to get into there. Get under the suspended floor there and tee it in. Customer wasn't happy that we drilled through his floor and his skirting boards to get the pipes through, but if you can think of another way to do it, answers on a postcard. And these radiators were hung. That one was hung, that one was hung. That one needed to move over by about that much. And we hung this one out the way of these sockets, but the customer wanted it hung half over the socket, so that's what we did for him. And upstairs, which I'm getting on with now, it's all pretty simple. Radiator under the window, radiator under the window. That's getting replastered, so we can't do that just yet. So we'll leave some tails under the floor, capped off or valved off. Radiator there, radiator there, and this is the one I'm doing at the minute. 450 1400. Seems like a big rad for the room, but with the building regs and the heat loss, that's what it came to. Ordered the wrong rad, ordered a 612, won't fit, so we had to go 450 12 just to make it fit. My mistake, take that one on the chin. Not that it can be hung anyway, but there we go. So Viessmann 111, 12 radiators, getting there.